This weekend, my friend CammyCakes posted a video reacting to the data rolling in for the current weekend of Trials of Osiris, and this data includes usage rates for individual subclasses, top weapons resulting in the most final blows, and also overall usage rates for popular exotic armor pieces. So I encourage you, check out the video, hear his thoughts. It's a great watch. Check the description and pinned comment for a link to that video, and I won't spoil any of his opinions here on this video, save for one. In that video, he shares his thoughts on the exotics that are listed, but he also shares his thoughts on an omission that he thought was noteworthy, and it's the Antaeus Wards exotic boots for the Titan. So to quote CammyCakes directly, talking about Antaeus Wards, he says, "They are obnoxiously strong, Gerfalcon level strong." Now that's a big claim. He's basically saying that Antaeus Wards don't have a usage rate that accurately reflects how good they are. And as an Antaeus main on my Titan for 2 years now, I really want to speak about that claim and ask the question, is Cammy right or is Cammy crazy? So quick disclaimer before we dive into all that, all the gameplay you're going to be seeing in the background is gameplay using the Antaeus Wards, and every match in the background is in the flawless pool. Now half of it is in the PC flawless pool and half of it is in the console flawless pool. So this is gameplay that I think is relevant to the discussion because this isn't solo queuing on a Monday out of the pool. This is where Trials gets tough and requires a good build and a good approach in order to win. So is Cammy crazy? Well, I'll tell you up front that he's absolutely right. First and foremost, one of the most important things to remember is that usage rate is a misleading stat value. This doesn't show you what teams who are winning a lot are using, and it doesn't even show you what the strongest thing is. It just shows you what the popular thing is. And there's a lot in that we're digging through, but I'll save that for another video. But to boil it down, these are the things people are using the most. So some exotics out there are very strong, but they're hard to use as well. You don't just equip them and then passively profit. So instead, they open up a new active playstyle that you have to lean into, and that can be challenging. A lot of these exotics on this list, they're there because you don't have to think about them. They're just going to work. Stompies, Ophidians, Dune Marchers, Wormhusks, Transversive Steps, Syntheseps, it's overwhelming majority of these exotics that don't require a new approach or a learning curve whatsoever. You just put them on and you play, and they're going to be passively enhancing your gameplay on their own. The reason why Antaeus isn't on this list is simply because you have to play the entire time knowing you have Antaeus Wards on. That's the truth. And most people don't have the presence of mind or the dedication to make that happen. Big reward when using them, but using them requires big investment. But the important question really is this: what can Antaeus Wards do that makes them so good, allegedly? That list is much longer than you might originally think. I'll start with the less obvious one, but it's a maneuver that has much more application than reflecting damage at the sender. And this weekend was a perfect map to illustrate it. On Burnout, the meta, as is clearly depicted by the data, is all about getting to a position quickly where you can lock down all of the entry points and hard scope them with aim assist monsters, weapons that are literally hard to miss with. In the top weapons this weekend, that included the Forerunner, Arbalest, and Lorentz Driver specifically, along with a few pulse rifles for team firing purposes. One of the hardest things to do in Trials, oftentimes, is to break a stalemate. It's something that slows games down to a halt. But with the Antaeus Wards, I'm able to break into enemy territory without taking damage and getting my head immediately popped by these weapons that too many people have come to rely on. So watch this clip. In this clip, I want to get up close and personal with the enemy team, but they're getting to mid faster than I am. And they know exactly where to aim because I'm coming through a very small, tiny doorway. I slide into the lane, take the enemy sniper shot, and let it bounce off my reflectors, and I take no damage. That player is now down to just one sniper shot, and I'm free to cross the gap unscathed. And now I'm in a great position to pounce on the enemy team. Now this maneuver is so helpful, and it has no cooldown. Anytime I want to cross a lane like this, I can, provided I time my slide at the right time. But this is exactly how I broke into enemy ranks over and over and over again this weekend. It's something I do very regularly, and it's likely the most consistently helpful application of the Antaeus Wards on the table. And another thing that it does is it makes me a big concern for the enemy team because now I'm up closer, and that frees my teammates who are still outside, it frees them up to challenge those lanes, see if they can get a pick without the fear of getting their head popped immediately, because now the aggro is split between me and them. And the next application is similar, but serves a different purpose. So let's say I don't want to cross a lane. Let's say instead I know this player is alone and I want to challenge them, but I don't want to get my head immediately popped by their linear fusion rifle or their sniper rifle, or maybe I don't want that first forerunner shot to hit me. So I will slide right at them and I'll put my reticle on them, and that's important. At worst, their shot will bounce off of my reflectors and let me get free damage on them, so they have to play catch up in the duel now. At best, though, their shot actually reflects back at them and they die very, very fast, since they're being damaged by two weapons simultaneously, mine and their own. I used this over and over to win crucial 1v1s in Trials this weekend. People of all skill levels have come to rely on their aim assist monsters and one-shot weapons too much, and when you take that away from them, then they have to scramble to find a backup plan quickly before they're dead. The next application is very similar. Anytime there is a fusion rifle on the other team, I will specifically bully them. I killed him with his own fusion. Fusion rifles are very easy to counter with Antaeus Wards. They have a charge time, so you don't have to slide early. Instead, you run at them, listen for the charge, and slide as soon as you hear it. You'll negate the damage, and oftentimes you'll reflect the damage back to them and kill them with their own Voop. I do it to Jotuns, main ingredients, Snorris, Telestos, you name it. All fusion rifles can be easily countered by the wards. But there's yet another application of the wards that is a literal game changer if you can pull it off. This maneuver has saved flawless runs for me multiple times. Many of the rapid cooldown supers in the game are projectile based. Tether, Blade Barrage, Nova Bomb, all of them are projectiles. That means they can be reflected. And these supers have a window generous enough to make this possible. And that means I can reflect a tether back at the sender, trap them in their own super, and this feels really, really good. All in all, the Antaeus Wards are an S-tier exotic armor pick for the current meta. Passive lane holding weapons are the go-to approach right now. People avoid direct gunfights when they can, and closing the gap on a team is much easier said than done in today's sandbox. But the Antaeus Wards, especially combined with the Arc Titan kit, opens up lots of ways to make hellishly fast pushes on enemies to keep them on their back foot. If you can knock a team with cinder blocks for their feet off balance, getting their center of gravity back is a real struggle for them. And that's why my main approach to Trials this season has been using the Antaeus Wards on my Titan. So, is Cammy crazy? Yeah, he is for lots of reasons, but his claim about the Antaeus Wards is not one of them. Check out his video, listen to his thoughts, and leave a comment on his video to let him know what you think about the meta right now. Thanks for watching, be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible. We take those. I got a pick in mid.
Oh, where?
Mid, right behind
They still have Arby. Capri's Arby.
Got two.
Good stuff. Jotty up top. Careful.
Got him.
Nice job, TV.
1 minute left, my friend.
Get wrecked. On me.
I'm not there.
Thank you, Antaeus Wards. Get out of here. Killed you with your own
Yo,
boot.
let's go, TV.